Is here, and we've done a lot of music here, and due partly to one of our forever citizens here that's been so involved with music, and that's Mr. Jim Burchett. And our mayor here has got something here that he wants to present to the family, and I'm sure he's got a word or two to say, and I think Sandy Job had a word or two to say too, so if she can make her way up here. Mayor, you got something you want to start with?
While Sandy's making her way up, welcome to Louisa. If you're visiting with us, we thank you for coming to our town. Let's talk to some people today that new citizens here, and says the small town feel is just amazing, and we hear that all the time. I thank everybody, the city and the county, for making Lawrence County and Louisa a place that we're proud of. I feel like we are. We're proud of it, and it's just delightful to see us working for the same goal. And today we do have a special dedication for a friend of ours that we lost recently. I was going to let Sandy go first if she gets in here. And Sandy, so for several years, Sandy and Jim and Brenda and some others, I don't know all the ones on their committee, but have worked to try to bring you this little bluegrass festival on Independence Day weekend every year here in the park. And Jim was very active on the board with Sandy and instrumental in helping do this. And so this year, being the first one without him, Sandy and I wanted to do something to honor Jim. Sandy, you can go first.
I just want to say that Jim was the main leader in the 4th of July parade, and whatever we had, he was right there. This started back several years ago. They stopped having music downtown at the courthouse. So Jim talked to me one day and he said, if you'll help me, I'm going to see the mayor and the judge and see if we can't start having it back downtown. So we got the go ahead to do it. And Jim got a flatbed trailer. We blocked off Main Cross Street at the courthouse, and we had it there for several years. And all of a sudden, we decided, why not move it to the park? And Jim talked to the mayor, and the mayor said, yay, go for it. So here we are, still at the park. We're having a good time. And it all started because Jim mentioned to me, he said, Sandy, if you will help me, we'll try it and see how it goes. If it don't go good, well, we'll quit. So here it is. We're still doing it, and it's all because of Jim Burchett.
So I had a proclamation, a dedication I wanted to read about Jim, but first I just want to explain to you a little bit. When I became mayor, and most of you all would remember, the park didn't look quite like this, and the stage didn't look nothing like this actually. I'm sure you saw pictures. And Jim come to me 2 or 3 years into my mayorship and said, if there's one thing I'd like to see done in Louisa, it's something done with that stage. He said, I've played music there for years, and it's the worst place I've ever played. It was all open, the steps come up the front, there was rails across the front about this high, there was posts in your face, there was no place to put your instrument cases or to change your shirt or to tune up like they're doing now. And I said, well, let's get together and talk about it. So Jim and I kind of designed this in our head with taking these posts out, making them bigger, putting the wall here, and we put spray foam in this 6-inch wall to help with the acoustics and the fans and the lighting, and it was a brainstorm of he and I. And about a year after that or so, I got a grant from Walmart and actually paid for about 80% of the upgrades from the grant from Walmart. So between Jim and Walmart, this was his idea. We saw it came to life, and the funny thing was, after we got done, we was having a music festival. I said, now Jim, I got that done. Is there anything else you want me to do? He said, I'm working on it. I'll get with you. And so he was always working for the community. So I just wanted to say today, Whereas our friend Jim Burchett was a lifelong resident of this community, he was a talented musician with a love for bluegrass and gospel music. He was active in organizing the Bluegrass Festival for the town's Independent Day activities for many years. He was instrumental in working with the mayor and city council to overhaul and improve the appearance and usability of the Main Street Park stage located on Main Street in Louisa, Kentucky. We as a community desire to honor Jim Burchett today and each Independence Day going forward for his love and dedication of music. Now therefore, I, Harold Sloan, Mayor, do hereby dedicate the Main Street Park stage in his honor and a memory. A plaque will be mounted in the backstage area to always remind the fellow musicians of his input into this facility and in our city. And I call this observance to the attention of all of you citizens. In witness today, the clerk has caused the seal of the city of Louisa to be placed on this document. We will give it to the family, and then we will put a plaque backstage for all the musicians to see every time. So, Claudette, in honor of Jim, we thank you and the family, and he will be missed, but always loved. Thank you.
With that being said, we got a couple others that wants to speak, and as we all know, everybody in this community loved Jim Burchett. If you didn't, you need to check your heart. There's something wrong, because he was so dedicated to this community, and especially in the music industry in our community. So, Mr. Doty, our Vice Deputy Judge, whatever you want to call him, has got a few words to say.
You know, they say when some people really love something, they have a true passion for it. Well, that's what Jim had for gospel and bluegrass music, a true passion for the music. Jim was ready to play anywhere, anytime. And that love and passion, that's what this is all about today. And as long as bluegrass and gospel music will be played on the stage, we'll always remember and love Jim Burchett forever. I miss you, Jim.
Got another dear friend of Jim and the family, Chris Job, our clerk, wants to speak.
Thank you. It's a great honor and privilege. Unfortunately, we have to be here today, but there's no better way to honor a great friend. And the other day we had a group text and we were talking about this. And you know, about every morning I'd pull up to the courthouse, and Brother Jim would pull up about the same time, and we'd greet each other. And we were talking the other day about the things that Jim liked, and he liked bananas, he liked biscuits, and he liked banjos. And I told him the other day in the group text, I said, we got to have banjos, and we got to have bananas and biscuits. And I think there's banjos here, but we kind of let down them. But as we were sitting there talking about that, I jumped over on YouTube, and you can go back and watch some videos of Jim performing with Tommy Webb Band and others over the years. And Tommy said something the other day, and I went back and we've got a lot of good memories. And he did put, like Vince said, you know, he had a compassion and a passion for music and stuff, and his memory will always be with us. And I'm just thankful for the friendship that we've had, and just thank the family for sharing Jim with us. He was not just a friend, but he's a neighbor and a brother, and I'm glad that, you know, each year that we will never forget him, that this is a great way of honoring and dedicating this stage in memory of Jim, and just thank you all.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks everyone that participated here today. This will be a memory forever, and we're going to kick it off right now with something that we know Jim loved, and that's great bluegrass music. So we'd like to welcome to the stage Elijah Boggs and the Mountain Echoes. Thank you all.